Okay, so thank you and welcome to the first edition of Toronto Mousaak. More naam Palash Thakur, bohtok siniye pao, but if there are any new faces, just wanted to introduce myself. And I'm part of the ASCCA board, Bahudinor pra involved, and I'll be moderating today's discussion, the first edition of Toronto Mousaak. And it has been a tough year, Parvez and I not only for us, but our extended families. So this is ASCA's humble initiative to really engage, connect, inspire, and activate our youth, the next generation that we have here, as well as the broader Assamese community. So we're hoping this will be the first of the many episodes to come in, and we bring to you over the next few months on various topics. So we will need ideas. This is just the first one that we had picked up, but again, feel free to email us, text us or whatever. Just let us know what you want to hear about. And today we have 4 of our budding next-gen authors from the Assamese community in Toronto. So I have Priya Bordeloi, who also goes by Cherry. I mean, sabe Cherry buli jano mo bahut dinor pisote gom palu she goes by Priya, right? Garggie Talukdar, and everybody knows Garggie. Farhan Haameed, and a lot of us know Farhan as well. And finally, Krishiv Thakuria. So we are all here to get them to know better, listen to their stories, listen to the journeys of authoring books. I mean, it's a big thing. If you think about it, authoring a book is not simple. Iman সহজ কথা নহয়. ময়ো বহুত দিনৰ পৰা ভাবি আছো কিতাপ লিখিম বুলি, আজিলৈকে হোৱা নাই, এক পেজো হোৱা নাই. So for these kids to have written books, publishing them, and they are on online marketplaces, I think it's a great achievement, right? So let us hear their stories, the inspiration behind writing, and what's next for them. So without further ado, let's get on to this and welcome folks, Garggie, Priya, Farhan, and Krishiv. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, rather than me introducing all of you folks, why don't we take the turn of introducing yourselves? Tell us a little bit about who you are, which grade you go to, which school you go to, a little bit of your background, and a fun fact about yourself. So we'll start with Priya.
Oh, hello. So my name is Priya Bordeloi, but as Palash uncle mentioned, most of you know me as Cherry. So I am 15 years old. I live in Vaughan, in Ontario. I go to high school. I'm in grade 10. And fun fact about me, since we're talking about budding authors, I wanted to talk about a moment that really inspired me, where I thought like writing was really like a great thing that I wanted to do. I think maybe in grade 5 it was. I actually got the chance, if anyone knows the Forest of Reading clubs, like Silver Birch, Red Maple, I was part of those, and I actually got the chance for one of the award festivals in 2016 to actually introduce one of the authors, like on stage, and that was because I've been, and including that, along with, all elementary schools joining various book-related clubs, from Silver Birch to Red Maple to even my high school literature clubs, those moments really made me value reading and writing.
Cool. Well, thank you, Priya. All right, let's move on to Farhan. Farhan, what motivated you to write and stuff like that, right? So give us a background, a little bit of your background, fun fact, and whatnot.
My name is Farhan. I live in Guelph in Ontario. I go to middle school. I'm in online school now because of COVID-19 and all that stuff. Fun fact, I'm allergic to cats and I have a cat at home.
I love that. All righty, Garggie, over to you.
Namaskar, my name is Garggie Talukdar. Moi Whitbeat, Ontario, Thakur. I'm in grade 12 this year. I'm 17. And fun fact about me, moi grade 3 or 4 actually, moi Nikiasu, I started writing then. So for the past 9 years, I've just been writing on and off small stories and stuff, but I was really shy about it before. But now through the process of publishing and everything, it's helped me open it up and share it a little more.
Cool. Krishiv, over to you.
Hi, my name is Krishiv Thakuria. I'm 12 years old. I'm a grade 7 student. Of course, I love reading and writing. I was just starting reading The Hunger Games, and so far I really like it. Also, in my spare time, I like drawing and animating. I also live in Mississauga in Ontario.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thank you all of you for your introductions. But let's get into a little bit of the background on your books, the process that you went through. Talk to us about your books, the name, subject key, topic key, some of the characters in your books, or finally what inspired you to write, right? And how long did it take you to write? So each of you, if you can just take turn and talk about your books and stuff. So we'll start with maybe Garggie. We'll start with you.
Sure. So I've actually published 2 books, but focusing more on my main larger one. That one's like a novel around 558 pages. And the name is The Reformation. And it's the first in, albeit a little ambitiously planned trilogy, which is called the Immortals Trilogy. And it took me, I think, 2 bosor lagile likhiboloi, aru e bosor lagile just for the editing process, figuring out publishing, all of that stuff.
Yep.
And it's basically, it's kind of like a science fiction dystopian novel specifically targeted for young adults, so anyone can really read it.
Mm-hmm.
It has focuses on around 6 main characters with alternating points of view. It's set in the future, and yeah, the premise is basically in a world where immortality is possible and only a select few people are immortal, the kind of divide that it creates in the world in ruins, and kind of people, unlikely individuals, banding together and working together despite their odds in order to work against something that's big and become something greater.
Wow. Like, where do you get these ideas though? Where do you start? Like, is it one fine day you get some brilliant idea and you start, jotting down or penning down thoughts, or?
More or less, actually, kind of.
Yeah.
I've been reading for a very, very long time. I think the greatest inspiration you get as a writer is through reading.
Mm-hmm.
I always have like a bunch of ideas. So Getyabat has so many ideas that have been scrapped to the side. But this is one that I started writing one day, and it kind of just grew from there. And it became a really big idea that I just wrote.
Wow. Okay. All right. Krishiv, let's move on to you. Let's hear your story.
The name of my book is called The Last Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
There are 5 main characters, but the most main character's name is Axel.
Okay.
And basically, the story is about a group of ninja who are secretly chosen by a sensei to save the world from an evil scientist.
Right.
It didn't take me too long to write the book. It's more of a short novel.
Okay.
What inspired me to write the book? I've always been reading a lot from a really young age. I love reading. After school, I would always just come home with a book in my hand from the school library, and I'll just start flipping through the pages and start reading it.
Yeah.
There was also this show I really loved watching back then called Lego Ninjago, which inspired me to write a book about ninjas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Farhan?
All right, I have my book with me. It's called The Electronic War.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it properly.
We can, yes.
The book is it's basically about electronic devices, earbuds and AirPods, fighting because the world they're in is being held captive by the evil lord.
Oh my God.
Evil AirPod Lord, and the earbuds, our main character Pluto, has to try and stop this evil dark AirPod with his friend Timothy.
Oh, there is a Timothy in there as well. It's just not about AirPods and stuff, right? It's about
there's some
devices.
characters.
Cool.
What inspired me to write this book was when my dad came home from work. He got himself a pair of AirPods, and I was wondering to myself, as my mom already had earbuds at home, I was wondering which would win in a fight, and I just decided to write a book about it.
Oh, that's exciting, because I'm pretty sure there is a separate universe altogether inside those AirPods and electronic devices, right? And that's what you probably exploring up there. Okay, Priya, Cherry.
So hi, so my books aren't novels. I have three I published a few years ago.
Yep.
So I brought them here today. They're a series of picture books, that are like nonfiction / fiction. They talk about various nonfiction human body systems, but like led by fictional characters in order to make it more fun to read. My first one I published in 2016 in grade 5. It's called Jeff and the Blood Crew.
Yeah.
So it's basically, this guy, he's a red blood cell. His name is Jeff. And he kind of takes readers on, like, as you go through the book, he takes readers throughout, like, various parts of the circulatory system. And, teaches about different parts, how they work, from the heart to blood vessels to even various other blood cells.
Cool.
My second book I published, I forget, I think in 2017.
All right.
It was a sequel that I wrote after this. It's called Bob and the Air Squad.
Okay.
So it's basically it's a similar concept where, like, a fictional character takes you around a various human body system to teach you about it, but it's about, like, air, for example, just how it's pretty common knowledge, right? One needs to breathe kind of and needs oxygen, right, to live.
Yep.
But it's not so common knowledge how exactly that air gets in, where it goes to, how it's processed exactly. So kind of like, so his name is Bob. He's a little tiny molecule of oxygen. And at every single step from the lungs to, like, the nose, each part, he shows you exactly what happens at every step. And then my final book I published of this series in 2018. I think it's called Steve the Sandwich.
Steve the Sandwich. From blood cells to sandwich? Wow.
Yeah.
Is it the digestive system now? I'm just guessing. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
So it's about a sandwich. His name was Steve, right? And as he goes through each part of the digestive system, he gives like a various like breakdown of how everything happens. Now, what exactly inspired me? I mentioned they're all picture books, like, designed for, like, younger kids, right?
Yep.
So growing up, I've always really liked, like, reading about various science facts, whether in school or outside of school. And, a lot of the books I read, like, the actual facts were interesting. But some of them, like, I got bored, like, at the way they were written.
Right.
So I figured, it'd be really nice if there were some that were a little bit more fun, I'd say.
Right.
So then I guess
illustrations. Did you do the illustrations yourself? Did you draw them out yourselves, or?
Yeah, I did actually.
Wow. Okay. Oh, cool. So it's written and illustrated by Priya Bordeloi then. It's not just written by Priya Bordeloi. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think the illustrations were pretty big. Like, they took some time to figure out because I think when I first started writing, I really had no idea how digital art really worked.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wanted to get the illustrations done myself.
Okay.
That's why if you look at my first two books here, like, I used the drawing feature on, like, GApps. That's why if you look at them, they look a bit more like geometrical. And then in my third book, as I got like more familiarized with various drawing softwares.
Right.
So they looked a little bit more smoother in my third book.
Interesting. Wow.
And then
go ahead.
in terms of time, right?
Yeah. How long did it take each one of them? How long did it take for each of
I'd say each one took probably around the greater part of a year, maybe around like 8 months, I would say.
Okay.
I think so. Writing and drawing itself didn't take too long, but first after that I'd format, and then getting the publishing stuff also took a long time because one, with the help of my parents, it took a long time to just find a publisher in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And then after with that, they had a lot of trouble with formatting between going back and forth because sometimes they had problems with the way images were formatted.
Yep.
So that took a while, and then eventually it would get submitted.
Cool. Wow, powerful backgrounds, right? All of you, and you know what? I was impressed. Like Garggie, 500 pages. I struggle to write even a single page. I'll tell you that. And probably most of us on this call, right? On this call, I mean, we struggle to write a page. right? So for all of you, and you know, all of you have written it or started writing these a few years back. So this was probably Farhan. I would say you were in grade 8 now, right, Farhan?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably wrote this in grade 7, 8, somehow right there.
Grade 7.
Grade 7. Krishiv, you wrote a few years back as
Yeah.
well. And Garggie, you've been writing from grade 3. And Cherryuto, I think you started about 4 years back or so. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I don't know what I was doing at your age. I have the faintest of idea what I was doing at your age, honestly. Leave aside reading books. Okay, so, and all your books, I know all of them are available on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Amazon.ca and any other online marketplaces. If someone wants to buy them, is that a good place to go and buy?
You can buy mine in Amazon and Kindle, I believe.
Kindle as well, Kindle edition. I think Garggie, yours is on Kindle as well, right, Garggie?
Yes, both books they're on Kindle, and then for the paperback of the novel, even though it can be bought through Amazon, it's best bought through me. I have copies at home.
Okay, cool.
That bypasses all the shipping and
Sure, yeah.
a bunch of.
Krishiv, what about you, Krishiv?
Yeah, mine can be found on Amazon Kindle. You can download the ebook version.
Cool. And Priya, Amazon as well?
Yeah, mine's just on Amazon. I don't have a Kindle version.
Sure, yeah.
Amazon. Mhm.
Cool. All right. So switching gears, you know what? I'll ask this question to both the boys first, okay? Because boys are not known to be very patient with stuff typically. So for you to write a book, now you told how long you spent, time in writing, but how did you really drive that patience in you to sit down and write a book? Like, did you, at any point in time, did you think about just giving up and, you know what, I'm not writing anymore? Krishiv, let's start with you.
Sure. So for patience, well, since writing was my passion, patience wasn't really a question because I love doing it.
Okay.
So I would spend like hours after school just jotting down ideas. Some of them I didn't write, some of them I did.
Yeah.
At school, anytime that I would get an idea, I had this notebook next to me. I would just quickly write it down. No matter what was happening, I'd just quickly write it down. I had a lot of daydreams about random ideas. And yeah.
Cool. That's good. And Farhan?
Patience, in my case, it was all right.
Yeah.
I kind of had some points while I was writing. I couldn't figure out what words to use or how the story would go.
Right.
But then eventually I would find out an idea and then change a part of the story and make it better.
Cool.
So I think you would need a lot of patience to write a book.
And you two boys have changed my idea of boys not being patient. I think we are all patient now, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay, perfect. So Garggie and Cherry, so you've talked a little bit about the character names and stuff, but again, you know, where did you start and how did you develop the plot? So talk to me about that, and how much time did you keep aside on your day-to-day basis, right? And how did you balance with your studies and extracurriculars, etc.? So maybe Garggie, you start off, and then we'll move to Cherry.
Yeah, of course. So for me, the idea started, like, I don't even remember how the idea did start, but I have a dozen notebooks.
Yeah.
And basically I just start by writing whatever comes to mind. It may be dialogue, some character ideas, some like major plot points I want, some cool scenes, whatever it may be.
Yep.
And then I just keep on writing until I feel kind of empty of those ideas. And then I moved on to plot out almost like each chapter really vaguely, and then line up where like the plot would work and how that would correspond to different things like character arcs, and then seeing how it impact everyone. I have like a lot of character profiles and trying to get into depth of their minds and stuff like that. And then I don't write in a linear way. I don't actually write from chapter 1 to
chapter 5. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I write it in like, maybe I'll write chapter 30 and then I'll do chapter 2. So sometimes it gets a bit messy. But the reason why I do that is because I just work with whatever I'm inspired to write in that particular moment, rather than forcing myself to follow a certain pattern.
Yeah.
Because of that, with setting time aside in a day, I don't necessarily set aside like 1 hour every day I'm going to write, but I try and set a goal of writing at least something every day, whether that be a sentence or maybe like 5 pages. whatever it is, just like not to be overly critical of myself and what I get done.
Right.
But trying to write every day and write whenever I feel inspired, though at the same time, it can be a bit difficult because of school and extracurriculars, which obviously take a bit of a priority. But at the end of the day, because it's something that, I mean, as Krishiv said earlier, it's like a passion.
Yeah.
So that you just make time to do. And sometimes you can't even like rest. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and like do like just write down whatever came to mind, just because you don't want to lose those ideas. But yeah, just
talk to me a little bit about your title, Reformation. What does it mean?
Reformation. Okay, so how that title started, I actually don't know the precise moment that I decided for that to be the title. I had a few working titles.
Yeah.
The reason why I chose the Reformation is because, as I stated earlier, it's the first book in a trilogy. So I kind of wanted like a theme. So the book 2 is tentatively titled The Retaliation. The reason why the first one was the Reformation is because a lot of the book is focused, the main objective of the characters was first to rebuild something like the world that has been destroyed. So the idea of reforming, but then that kind of expanded to other parts, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Reformation really describes the plot in a really like overarching term, and also some of the character arcs as well. It kind of serves as a description for both plot and character, which I thought was really interesting. Plus it sounds cool, so.
And you're telling me you're 17, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, Priya.
Hi. So I think the process was a little bit different from my first book and then my second and third because of because it's like they were all like nonfiction. They were all mainly talking about like explaining a fact. First, I had to have like an overarching topic. What exactly do I want to talk about? So my first one, I kind of thought like, oh, like I mentioned, write a plot kind of I was thinking about it. I was suddenly inspired. I guess we were learning about it in school the other, like when it came to me, like it would be really great if we learned about the circulatory system, this topic, but in a way where it was like a character taking you around in like a more fun way. So then in terms of inspiration, that one kind of just came to me. The other two were not as like easy. It was more like, since I wanted to continue the series and make it into like a thing, I would start with a topic, right, that I wanted to write about. Like, hey, if I want to make it a series, what body system should I talk about next, right?
Got it. Okay, yeah.
So then from there, after I have my topic, I would think, what should my main character be? And then how I would like plan it out rather than like writing a short burst of inspiration.
Yeah.
I was trying to make it a little bit so I would start with brainstorming how exactly would I let it flow in a story.
Got it. Yeah.
And then, from there I'd branch out, who could the characters be? Would there be any other characters? And then names and then details. Right. And then I'd make sure, I'd research on the internet, make sure like everything is backed up with actual facts.
Right. So
and then I'd start.
Right. Wait, when I'm hearing, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but what I said is for all of you, the themes are different for sure, but even your style of writing and your thought processes are very different, right? Because Priya, you are going in a more structured way to say, okay, here's my plot, here's my thing, and here's a subject or the topic, and let me do the research and plan it out. Garggie and Farhan probably on the other side were like, oh, I saw something, I'm getting some ideas, I'll put it out, and you know what, we'll string it together later on. We'll think about how we string it together. Krishiv, to your point as well, I think you were like just putting in, okay, let's put in a few thoughts as I get it, and then but you had a central character as well, right? You knew what you were going to write, so very different styles. Sorry, Priya, I'll let you complete your thought though. I think you're doing something. Yeah.
I think that was it for in terms of how exactly I plan things out and like think of a plot. In terms of balancing it with time,
yes,
as Garggie mentioned, it takes a lot of like, there's a lot of other things in our lives too, from school to extracurriculars to hobbies. So because I felt like schools and extracurriculars, like those were a more like high priority, I'd keep my focus on that. Yep. And then with whatever like free time I had left, I would, focus all of it. I would centralize most of it on completing my book, which is why It took a little bit longer than it could have,
Okay.
but like, yeah, it's that just so that I didn't let it like interfere with everything else in life.
Cool. Well, that's great. Very insightful. Let me ask you all of this. What's next for you all? Are you planning to write another one? Is there anything that you're ready to publish? Maybe Farhan, let's start with you. Are you writing another one? Do you plan to write another one, or that's it? One is good enough, or
There is no way one is going to be suitable for everyone.
yeah,
I'll definitely be creating another one since I
yeah,
already got an idea in my head, and it's
yeah,
going to stay in my head until it's published.
yeah. So it's not about AirPods and electronics next, probably, right? Do you have a topic in mind, Lo? Or you're not
It might relate to the electronic war, yeah.
electronic war? Yeah, maybe on video games and stuff, maybe, or something like that.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, like it. Okay, Krishiv, what about you?
So about a year ago, I was starting to write another book.
Yeah,
The book that I already published was more of a short novel, and this time, since I had more knowledge in writing, I wanted to write like an actual long novel.
okay,
So I began writing it, and I had a lot of great ideas in mind.
yeah,
And I had written about 200 pages, but
wow,
then from where I stopped, I just didn't know where to go. And
okay,
I wanted to continue it because I didn't want all my time to go to waste, but I didn't know where to like continue. And my mind was just blank.
okay,
A few months ago, I started writing another one.
mm-hmm.
I like where this is going compared to the other one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, your the previous one that you mentioned, where you landed up with 200 pages. I mean, that could be a logical end as well, right? You just get into a dilemma stage, you don't know where to go, and that's the end, right? That could be a logical end. But great that you put in 200 pages. That's amazing, right? And maybe you'll get back to it at some point in time, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Excellent. Priya, anything up your sleeves next?
At the moment, I've put this current series to rest, and
Yes.
I'm not really like thinking of writing anything currently.
Okay.
I want to prioritize other things from school to other
Yeah, absolutely.
activities, but who knows? Like, I did have fun writing, and I do like it in general. I might in the future come
Cool.
back with something.
Yeah, good. Garggie, you've published your second.
Book 2 is currently in the works. It's around 60% done. I actually have a Word document pulled up still on my computer right now.
Okay.
So I'm currently working on that. I have
Yeah.
like a couple other, I feels like hundreds of projects.
Yeah.
But recently, actually, I published another, like on, that was like a project that I've been working on the past few months. I'd probably say 2 months.
Yeah.
And it was a story that I initially wrote in grade 8,
Mm-hmm.
and then have since like majorly revamped and like tripled in length.
Mm-hmm.
That one's also like a project very close to my heart, and
Yeah.
that's the work that I'm proud of and have put out. So yeah.
Of page 38?
Of page 38, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a story about, so basically someone accidentally leaves a letter no one was supposed to read in a book in the library,
Yeah.
and another person accidentally finds it.
Mhm.
And then in a tradition of like one, he leaves the letter in the book and then she takes out the letter. And through the process of writing the letters, it's a story about, first of all, mental health issues in high school and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It also is about the journey of like, like identity and figuring yourself out and everything like that, which I feel, at least personally, subjects that I 100% have felt going through high school.
Yeah. Mhm.
And yeah, so they basically change each other's lives without speaking a word. And
Yeah. I'm no writer myself, but I can tell you, from whatever I've heard from some of my friends and others who do write stories and things that, and I think they say that topics that resonate with you or that you live through, it's best to write about them, right? And I think you express yourselves way too well when you start writing on topics that resonate with you, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. All right. Enough of asking about books and stuff like that. But what about your other interests? What do you like? Like you guys are in grade 7 to grade 12 now. Garggie, you'll be going into university very soon.
Yeah.
like, what are your other interests? Farhan, I know you like gaming, but what else?
Yeah. Other than reading, writing, and gaming,
Yeah,
swimming. I like to swim a lot.
cool.
That's basically the only other thing.
Yeah, good, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Krishiv?
Besides from reading and writing,
Yeah.
I still read a lot, of course. I love to make 2D animations.
Okay.
About a year ago, I got into animating
Yep.
from some inspirations,
Yeah.
and I really enjoy it. And I also like digital art.
And you have a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah.
I've heard about it. You haven't shared it with me, but I have my ways of finding it out. But that's great. I think you'll have to share that as well at some point in time, right? Cool, cool, cool. Priya?
So I like to dance.
Yes, we
I've
all know about
been-
that.
Yeah, I
Is
started
it Kathak or Bharatanatyam? Kathak.
Kathak.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I've been doing that for like the longest time since I was like 8/9.
Yeah.
So I'm still keeping up with that. That's a lot of fun. Besides that, I've been trying to branch out a lot, especially since like we've been stuck at home for the past 8 months, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying a lot of different things. I'm getting better at cooking
Right.
and baking, things like that. I've been trying to do that. Trying to move a little bit more since we haven't been going outside. I'm attempting to exercise more.
Yes.
I've been trying to do I've been trying to do different arts and crafts. These days I've gotten into crocheting,
Yes.
which is kind of fun.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I have something I've been working on for like a few days. It's a cat.
Oh, it's a cat. Farhan, you'll love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a cat.
Cookie will love that, right, Farhan?
Yeah, Cookie.
Yeah.
That's her name.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Garggie, what about you? You dance.
I do dance.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. What else do I do? My music, buhut palpa.
Okay.
Listening. I have my guitar over there that I taught myself how to play. All of that stuff I really do enjoy music a lot. And then what else? Music, dance, reading, writing.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mean, as Cherry said, in lockdown, we've been trying many different things.
Doing many things. Cool.
More
Cool.
additional sesta korisu, kok korboloi. And it's actually had like moderate success, so that's good.
Your Asom school is running very well. You should say that.
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Parahali, yes.
I'm so happy to pass the mantle over to you, honestly.
I was just gonna say thank you. Without your foundational work, I mean, I wouldn't have done it now. But yeah, Toronto Parahali, Aji Amarta klasa sila.
Yeah.
We do every Sunday at 11. But yeah, that's another thing. Doing cultural things, Ahomia culture, Ahomia language, like moi fluent no hiking too. It's the idea of just connecting on that with the Ahomia language and everything. But
Right.
yeah.
All right. So final question coming up for you all, right? I know we are running out of time shortly, but this is off the script, obviously. How's school going for all of you now in this virtual world? How's school going for you all, and how are you all coping? And finally, what do you want to become in life? If you have a plan, or if you have 2 or 3 things, share with us if you're comfortable sharing. So again, I'll start with Priya first.
All right. So in terms of school, I would say I'm actually feeling the same as I was in like regular school.
Yeah.
I would say like I've switched to completely online. So all my classes I do online via Google Meet, and all assignments are submitted like online. I would say one thing that has changed is that I can wake up a little bit later and still
Me
get to
too.
class on time.
I love that flexibility.
Yeah. Besides that, I would say I'm coping pretty well in terms of the school area. I feel like things are going the same as they used to, just like personally.
Right. And what are your
As-
career interests? What do you think you want to do when you like another 5-6 years from now, or 7 years from now?
In terms of career interests, I've mentioned I really do love sciences, especially, concerning like, people in life. I really do think, growing up, I want to be a doctor,
Okay.
something in the medical career. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll have a doctor then. All right. Okay. Krishiv, what about you? How's school and career interests?
So school right now, currently I'm going in person in school.
Okay.
This year was my first year. It's my first year in middle school. And so I had to move schools, and this school is way bigger compared to my old elementary schools.
Oh, yeah.
I've made a lot of new friends as well. Also, I'm in the Enhanced Learning Gifted program, which has been pretty fun.
Yeah.
And for career interests, I love coding. I didn't mention that before, but I love coding.
Yeah.
When I grow up, maybe I would like to design games and apps. That would be pretty cool.
And if you ever think of designing websites, you should connect with Parvez uncle, because Asom Sangha really needs some help with our website, okay? Farhan, what about you?
School so far, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to online now.
Right.
It's going really good. I am starting to practice some of my writing, because we get these assignments like creative writing and writing essays about a certain topic. It's going good, and I'm learning a lot. And I guess I aspire to be maybe a game developer,
Yeah.
or maybe an engineer.
Okay, cool. That's good. Garggie?
So I've been doing a hybrid learning, so I go half in person, half online.
Right.
I am not the biggest fan of online school. It hasn't been super helpful. Grade 12 year has for sure not been, what we thought it would be going into high school. With everything's a little different, but we're managing, so I think that's good. At least we're learning, even though it's a little different than originally planned, because we haven't been able to actually cover everything in science. We can't do labs. So it's a little difficult, but we're trying. Right now it's applying to universities and everything.
Yeah.
That being said, with career paths, you would think that I would have an idea, but I don't. Right now, I'm just thinking about sciences in general.
Okay.
Nothing specific, even though I'm in the stage of choosing. I'm trying to keep options open and just see where it goes from there.
Well, at least you have one career option open, which is writing, right? You can easily become an author, right? So that's good. You know what? Okay, and proms and stuff. Grade 12, you have proms, virtual proms?
Typically, we would have had a prom, but everything's canceled.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's.
We aren't gonna have any of that. No graduation either, so it'll be interesting.
Wow. Well, Farhan, Krishiv, Garggie, Cherry, thank you, and thank you. From the bottom of my heart for joining us today. I can just imagine how proud your parents and family are of your achievements. And certainly we as a community, the Assamese community, we're extremely proud of you. So blessings and best wishes for all of you. And for everybody who has joined in, I mean, this is the first edition of Mousaak. Glad that you could join in. Hope it inspires some other kids to do and follow their passion. And everybody joining in, we've got about 40 odd people joining in. It's a big encouragement and support for the kids, right? Not only for the organization. I mean, we are just facilitating this, but it's a great encouragement for the kids. And we sincerely hope that our budding authors here, they continue the journey of penning their stories and thoughts, and many others here would garner interest and inspiration from them. If anybody has any suggestions, including the four of you here, please, we would like to hear what you would like us to bring in the subsequent editions. So we have a few things in mind, but please do email us, let us know, and stay tuned for the next edition and the next episode, which will come in about a month and a half's time. Okay.